Hi, I'm Kent Ross and I'm the resident conductor for the KC Philharmonic Orchestra, and we are involved in the KC Winter Arts Festival. We create music for the city of KC, and in some particular cases those musical worlds where everyone can escape from. And it can be, we are a versatile orchestra, so we do the classical, we've got film music coming up, and we are always forever exploring new ways to engage our audience. What I create goes every which way left of centre sometimes. I have composed for a number of different genres. I have a deep love of film. I've done film, short films, I've done cartoons. I've done commission works. I've recently also wrote some pieces for a dance company as well. I've just also written solo piano works. I also do a lot of arranging. So I like to think that my background is eclectic enough that I can almost tailor-make anything that people want. If I'm left to my own devices, however, which I unfortunately admit that I don't get enough to do sometimes. Pieces for me are like movies in my mind. I've always loved soundtracks, so I'm always trying to write music to something that's going on. Or I need a theme. I'm what's called a pragmatic composer, so I always need something to write to. I'm not very good at writing what's commonly known as absolute music, just music for the sake of it being music. It has to have a direction, it has to tell a story, otherwise I'm not that interested in it. So a lot of my beginning creativity actually just starts with nothing more than a pencil, an eraser, manuscript and my piano, and just letting the world go wild in my head. Why is art and creating important to me? It's simply, well, not simply, it's an outlet. It's not something I think that comes easy to artists in any which way, but it's something they have to do. They get up in the morning and they might not always create first thing in the morning, but there's always something in the back of the mind churning over. And eventually something comes knocking on the door inside the head and says, right, you need to get this out one way or another. One way of feeding the soul, I suppose. And also, it's purely you, isn't it? When you get those lovely chances just to create on your own, with no deadline or with no brief or any restrictions, and you can sit back and I made this. This is cool, because you just need to do it, so you do. I can't think of a day that I don't listen to something, and it makes a huge part of my day. It has to, especially in my teaching roles, because I'm forever dealing with all walks of life and also all ages, so I've got to always try and stay up to date in that regard. It plays a large part in my life, and I also like finding out from other people what they're listening to, because I like exploring as well. Like just this morning I put on some music while I was getting breakfast ready for my girlfriend, and she goes, "What are you listening to?" It's just something I found on Spotify and I like it. And it's just like, "You're weird," and walks away. It's a snapshot in time, isn't it? It's like a photograph, except it's more solid and can last forever, depending on, I suppose, how, because things come in phases, art and whatnot. Oh, now inspiration can come in many forms, but mainly characters and working out their personalities. And other things can come from, as something as simple as being at a certain time and a place. I was born and raised in rural Australia, so I've got a lot of ties still to there. So when I go home, because my parents still live in rural Australia, I walk around and I listen a lot more. What I hope when they're listening to, or what they're listening to, will take them on a journey, and even if they create something on their own. I also think it's important that if you have the time and the ability to actually ask people, what do you think, or what do you hear, what do you see, and get that feedback, it's invaluable. So the KC Philharmonic, we're currently doing 4 Star Wars suites. We decided that that we would tackle the great music of John Williams that has been since 1977 and has now transversed multi-generations. We also wanted to engage our demographic, and we've got a lot of young families. Wanted to get them to feel that the orchestra is something that they can be a part of, and also it's something that they are familiar with. You know, let's face it, everyone likes a good villain theme like Darth Vader's theme. Though the Path of the Resistance is very good. So we're doing 4 suites. We're doing the original Star Wars saga, Star Wars suite. Then there's another one called the Star Wars saga, which just takes more themes from the first 3 films, or 4, 5 and 6, depending on how you count. Then we're doing also the suite from the Phantom Menace. And we're also engaging with 2 local choirs, the Cranberry Chorale and Singularity Choir, who are actually coming in to sing one particular part of the suite, which is fantastic. So a lot of community involvement. And then we jump over to and acknowledge or pay homage, or whatever word you'd like, to The Force Awakens, playing that suite to now almost like the passing of the torch, so to speak. That's our current project with it, and we're very excited to present it. I think it's going to just be a lot of fun, and a lot of people are going to get into it, and hopefully the first of many of such concerts. It means to me that you're not alone. So I think for a lot of artists that they feel like they're alone a lot of the time, because they get caught in their own head and in their own world and in their own space. And every now and then, I think community groups or just being part of that bigger family remind you that you're not, and it's okay to, you know, to try something different or go outside your comfort zone. And if it fails, it fails. Learn from it. Do it again. You know, and fail better, you know, that's okay. But also, you know, revel in your successes, but keep on going as well. So I guess in a lot of ways it means hope. Community means hope, because as soon as, like during COVID, when we were all locked down, the artists were the lifeblood, I think, of a lot of people to keep going. And they're all coming out now to support us, which is great. But I think at the heart of any sort of community project, especially a big one, it's just bringing the hope back and saying we're not going, you know, we're not going quietly into the night. We'll do it really, really loud with a 70-piece orchestra. The colours. Like I said before, I'm from rural Australia, so you know, seeing the colours change through the different seasons, that's always a gorgeous thing to see. Driving home and seeing how those hills are progressing or what's going on, but yeah, waking up to, you know, near zero, not my funnest thing, no. Beautiful days where there's not a cloud in the sky but the sun is shining. Those are always gorgeous winter days. Seeing the sunlight bounce off water, like rain on leaves and everything like that, because there's you kind of hear the music in that too, from all the birds and everything like that. So there's a lot of things about winter I like. Am I going to wear a Darth Vader uniform? I don't think so, because Darth Vader's uniform is a little bit cumbersome. It's a little bit, yeah, the shoulder pads alone kind of stop you getting up too high. I have toyed with the idea of maybe an Imperial uniform, or maybe Jedi robes. We'll see. You'll have to buy a ticket and find out.